Hi, I'm Zach from Hale Pet Door. Today we're going to replace the flaps on this wall model pet door. This will not only save you money, but also extend the life of the pet door. We'll start by removing the flap, or the screws, on the interior side. Now keep in mind this is a wall unit, so we have this extra width. The doors in the in-glass models do not have that width in there, but you can access those screws on the interior side of all the models. So on this wall model, there is enough space where we can work in here and we don't need to remove the outer frame from the wall. But if we were to do that, we'd simply take our knife, slice along where it's been caulked on the sides. Once you break that caulking seal all the way around the perimeter, you'll also need to access the screws that are screwed into the frame on the interior portion, and those should be visible. And then remove that frame. So all the models have a different amount of screws along the top. This is a medium size, so it only has 3 to 4 screws up here, which you can see right here. So you simply unscrew that, and the little screw falls right out. So we'll do that all the way across the top. And now, with that taken off, your flap simply falls down. Okay, now that we have the flaps off, both inside and outside flaps are off, we now need to remove the weather stripping and magnets. Now keep in mind, if your weather stripping and magnets are in good working order, all of your magnets are still in place, you don't have to replace it. You can keep it for the next time when you do need to replace it. Right now, this is all pretty worn. The magnets are having a hard time catching on the flaps, so we're just going to go ahead and replace everything. Couple different ways that you can do that. You can use either a pair of pliers or a flathead screwdriver. So what you do with the screwdriver, put it in there, in between the magnet and the frame, and simply give it a small twist, and you can see that the magnet is coming right up. And then you can grab it and pull it out. And discard that because we'll be replacing that. With the pliers, simply grab it. Be careful not to grab your frame, pinch too low. Just grab the magnet and wiggle it back and forth. And that comes right out. Now that we're at the process of taking out all the weather stripping, I like to use this. This is called a 14-in-1 paint tool. You can get this at Home Depot, Lowe's, in the paint department. They're about $5-6. Has this nice hook on here. So I take my pliers and you pull out the magnet like so. Take your 5-way or 14-in-1, get it wedged in there and pull it up, and it comes right out. Alright, now we have both the inside and outside flap off. We have all the weather stripping and magnets taken off as well. I've unwrapped my flap kit and I've separated it from the inside and the outside. What I've also done is taken all the weather stripping pieces and lined those up to where they fit on the frame and placed all the magnets where those go as well. If you don't do this, it can be a little confusing on where to replace the weather stripping in the frame and the magnets. So to set the weather stripping back in the frame, we'll use our screwdriver from earlier. We'll take it, there's a little lip that you can see on the top right here, and that slides up and into the frame. Then you take your screwdriver handle and tap it into place. And don't be afraid to put some muscle behind there. You're not going to hurt it. So then you go around your frame, since we've already laid out our parts and magnets, pick up the next piece, and you want to make sure you get that nice and tight into the one above it, and set it like that. And we'll just finish going all the way around. So we'll set this last magnet here. You know, that one's giving me a hard time. I'll show you some tricks on how you can get these set, but one thing to avoid using is a hammer. This can not only damage the frame of the pet door, but it can also damage the feet or the cleats that are on these magnets and cause them to compress, and then the magnets fall right out. So an easy solution is take your screwdriver, and if the camera can zoom in here, if you put a little pressure on there, you can expand that out, and you can see that I've widened that. So now that should fit nice and tight in our frame for us. And then again, we'll just hammer the magnet in. Perfect. Now we'll go inside and set all the weather stripping and flaps on the inside. Okay, now that we've set all of our weather stripping, both inside and outside, it's time to set our flaps. So we're going to set the inside flap. And remember, when you're setting these flaps, the metal bar always needs to be facing you, or facing the inside portion of the pet door. Also, you can see along the top, the flaps are riveted. That metal bar is riveted to the flap. Do not put your screws through there. It'll cause damage to the flap. Your new flap will not come pre-drilled with screw holes. You can use your old flap as a template for your screw setting. You can lay it over the top, take your drill, and just drill right down into it. Puts a little mark on the bar. We'll go ahead and get all those preset. Alright, now that those are pre-drilled, our screw holes, we're going to set the flap. The easiest way is grab it, bend it kind of like a taco. And we're going to make sure that when we set it, this metal bar is facing the inside of the pet door or facing towards you. So we're doing the inside flap from the outside of the home. And we'll slide that in and set it right in place. If it's done properly, it should stay without the screws. However, that is temporary, screwed in place. If, for whatever reason, you're having a hard time getting it to set, you can take your flathead screwdriver and use it to kind of push it up, the flap up on that metal bar, and hold it into place. Or while you screw it with your screws that we provide, the 1/8" screws. And we'll just go in and set it nice and tight. Now we'll go inside and set our outside flap. Alright, with a few simple steps, we've extended the life of the pet door, saved some money, and we did it ourselves.